Hey. Hi, y'all. How we doing? Hey. Okay. That was a soft applause. I'll take it. All right. Thank you for coming to our first educational series panel of HFF25. Hot fucking damn. Yeah. So hopefully you're here for Meet the Venues. That is what we're going to be talking about today. My name is Lois, if we haven't met already. My pronouns are she, her. Visual description, I am a white woman with mid-length, medium brown hair, currently wearing a jean jacket and an all-black ensemble. I am your co-festival director here at Hollywood Fringe. We also have some team members I want to point out. David Haverty, right here on the camera. Thank you, Haverty. And Jeanette, who is on the chat, making sure our live stream friends are able to join in as well. Okay, the applause are getting better. I like it. The energy is coming in. I mean, a Monday night, I don't know what I can expect, right? We're doing our best. Okay, before we jump in, I do want to do a quick land acknowledgement. The Hollywood Fringe acknowledges that we are on the unceded lands of the Tongva, Quiche, Gabrielinos, and Gabrielinos. Our statement serves as a practice as we commit to furthering our connection to Indigenous communities past, present, and emerging. I also want to say thank you to Lauren for hosting us today at Actors Company. Thank you, Lauren. And I want to give you the chance to take the mic for a second because you are hosting us in your beautiful space and you have some exciting things happening. So if you want to chat for a second.
Sure. Okay. So here in the venue, we have something coming up on February 8th, which is a Saturday, called Test Fest, which is if you have a concept or a part of your show that you want to test out, you can bring it here and do 10 minutes, get audience feedback, and then schmooze afterwards. So if you're interested in that, you'll see cards all over the place. And then also we own film festivals. So we have 15 of them and they're constantly happening. We sell subscription passes to them. And what else should I say?
That's great.
Just welcome everybody. It's nice to have everyone here.
Yeah. Thank you. One of the fun things about the educational series is we are going to pop around to several different venues. So in addition to all the many tours that hopefully you'll do over the next month, you'll also get to see a lot of these spaces as we host different events throughout Hollywood. Okay, this workshop is being live streamed and recorded, as I already mentioned. So hi, everyone watching from home. No, you can also watch any past recording. So if you want to go back and, rewind to a part that you really wanted to catch again here, if you want to see a different panel that you're not able to come to, or fun fact, watch 14 years of past panels and workshops and silly videos and really dive into the Fringe experience, that is something you can do on our YouTube page at Hollywood Fringe. And if you also want to see 10 years of weird hairstyles from me, that's an option too. We went through some stages.
I'm almost done with my Netflix. I watched all of Netflix. So.
Perfect. Right. Great. Oh, all right. If this was a drinking game, we'd all be in trouble because Haverty will tell us to do that over and over again. Okay. So today's event is going to be split into a few different parts because we have tons to talk about. First off, we're going to I'm going to give you some announcements and some general rundowns from Fringe. And then we're going to do intros. Each venue is going to have 3 minutes, and I'm going to set a timer to give you an intro into their venue. And then venues that do have multiple spaces they represent, you'll get an extra minute so you don't have to try to cram too much into that 3 minutes. From there, we're going to do a show of hands section where we're going to talk about some kind of speedy things like live stream or insurance. And that way you can just kind of visualize what each venue has to offer in their spaces. And then we're going to do a speed round, very more panel specific, where I ask questions and each venue answers. And then we will do a Q&A. Huzzah! From there, we'll do a Q&A. So hold on to your questions because at the end, we will absolutely take questions from the audience. I will ask that you try to keep them more general and not so show specific or even venue specific, because you're going to have the next portion, which is a meet and greet, where you're going to have a chance to talk to the venues that have piqued your interest or that you want to know more about, and you can ask more specific questions at that point. Okay, I'm going to get through some announcements, and then I will hand it off to these brilliant humans who will tell you all about their venues. Key dates. This is important. We have them. Registration opens on February 1st. Hot damn, that is coming up so soon. Previews will start June 5th through June 10th. The opening night party is scheduled for June 11th. Something to note for both our venues and participants, no shows are scheduled for June 11th. It is our party day. We celebrate in community and don't do any performances for Fringe that night. And then we rock into the official festival, June 12th through the 29th, with the awards on June 30th on a Monday. That was something we started last year and arguably the one program we've never heard a complaint about. So that works. Noting this year's guide deadline is going to be April 10th. We're going to talk a lot more about that at future town halls and newsletters, but I just want to get it into your head that the idea is to have your venue booked, your project created, and your registration paid by April 10th because you want to be in the printed guide. But you can, of course, register after. You just won't get to be in that guide, which would be a bummer. Funding opportunities. Right now, our scholarship applications are open. Please, if you haven't checked that out, there is still time. HollywoodFringe.org/scholarships. All of the information, including past panels and informational sessions that'll help you dive into that application. And so, until February 4th, we did push that deadline to allow more time after the wildfires here in Los Angeles. We also have our Artist Fund. That is not open yet, but I want that to be on your radar in February. So later in this month, we will announce the Artist Fund applications opening, which will be available to any low-income Angelino artist. So that one is across the board. Our scholarships are a little more focused, but our Artist Fund is going to be much more broad. So keep an eye out for that because that is money to help you rock your production. Okay, events. Just like this, we're going to do so many events that will walk you through Fringe A to Z. So if you're coming into this and half of what I'm saying is going right over your head, that's okay. A lot of these, it's time to start kind of learning the vocabulary, learning some of the questions to ask, and then all of our events are going to help you put those pieces together. They are free and designed, like I said, to walk you through every step of the process. This year, we have a mixture of in-person and digital, but all of our events will be available via live stream and a recording. So even if you miss a workshop, no big deal, catch it later. All of our HFF run events will also have ASL interpreters available upon request. If that is something that you need, please reach out to us at support@hollywoodfringe.org and make sure that's 72 hours in advance, and we'll get that scheduled and available for you. So our workshops. Coming up, we have the alternative BYOV venues at Fringe. That's coming up on February 3rd from 7 to 9 on Zoom. If you want the more site-specific approach, if you want something less conventional than a lot of what we're going to talk about today, this workshop is going to be for you. We'll walk you through basically how to become your own venue manager and get a space that not everyone else is going to. From there, we also have a budgeting and fundraising workshop, anti-racism for white artists, marketing and ticketing, how to tech your Fringe show, and festival expectations, just to give you an idea of all of the knowledge that will be shared over the coming months. All of our workshops are led by a moderator on the Fringe staff, but the panelists are past participants. Hi, y'all. Welcome. So that's going to be direct knowledge from people who have sat in your seats, who have done what you're doing now, and with great success. Then we have our town halls. Those are going to be where myself and my co-director, Ellen, talk at you. It's just a lot of information. It's all of the boring details, but the things you're going to need to know so that you don't miss a beat throughout the process. Coming up, we have Fringe Town Hall number 1, Welcome to Fringe. That's going to be imperative if you are new to the festival, which how many people are joining for the first time this year? Amazing! That's incredible. Welcome to the family, y'all. I'm so happy to have you here, and I can't wait to see what you bring to the table. But Town Hall number 1, please come. If you cannot come, we can watch it via live stream or the recording. Yeah. There it is. We'll work on that. We'll try it again later. So February 2nd, 2 to 4 p.m. at the Broadwater. That's going to be where that first town hall is. We also have a town hall all about how to make your Fringe show accessible, and a town hall about printed guide, ticketing, and press. And then the fourth one is going to be make the most of your Fringe experience. So we kind of have those tailored to make sure you get all you can out of this festival, between the best marketing and ticketing practices all the way to how to take advantage of the award opportunities and the industry program and help you get your show to the next level. Because that is our goal at Fringe. We want you to thrive here. We want you to learn and grow artistically and professionally, but we want it to be a launching pad. We don't want people to end up here as the best it can be. We want to see what you do next and help you get there. So the industry program is going to be big for that. Okay, I'm almost done, I promise. Next up, we have virtual web sessions. Those are going to be for our less digitally friendly friends, myself included. We're going to talk about the website, how to make sure you know how to find the tools that are available to you, where the articles are, where the events live, and then how to really develop your project page. So we have the first one all about site navigation and project pages. The next one is going to be all about ticketing and press and using the tools on the website. So again, if like the digital space is a little more uncomfortable for you, those are designed to help you navigate that. All of our events, because giving you dates right now would be so silly, hollywoodfringe.org/events. All of these are listed, the times, the dates. You can even directly add it to your Google Calendar. So start signing up there. Fringe support, we have tons of support options already available to you. And know that these are also here in that the decision-making process. So if you're not sure, that is okay. You don't need to register and then take advantage of these support options. Start talking to us now. We want it to be the right fit. We don't want anyone to sign up out of fear. We want you to have all the information possible and make a decision that is right for you. We have one-on-one sessions with Roddy, our artist services manager, and that's a chance for you to ask one-on-one questions that are more specific to your show about whether, what your goals are match with what is likely in the festival process. We also have our newsletters. How many people are signed up for our newsletters? Oh, yes. Yes. Okay, very nice, Calvin.
Sign up.
Right? Definitely sign up, y'all. That is going to be huge in making sure you don't miss a beat in the festival process. So you can do that. I wish there was an easy link. There's not. But the right corner of the website, click newsletter and you can sign up right away. We also have our supportal.
Move it out of your junk folder too into your regular one.
100%. Yeah, add newsletters at Hollywood Fringe to your contacts because otherwise it will go to junk often. We have our supportal, support.hollywoodfringe.org. That is a collection of articles all about every question you could possibly have. Beyond that, we have our email, support@hollywoodfringe.org. This is your new best Fringe pal. How many people have emailed support already? Okay, a couple people. Fantastic. Yes, I love it. Yes. And I'm serious. It is your new best Fringe pal. We are here to answer all of the questions. We want to make your job easier here. It is a self-produced festival, but we are here to help guide you, help navigate the questions along the way. Start engaging now. So we've already said we're all going to sign up for the newsletter when we get home tonight. Yay. Also follow us on social media at Hollywood Fringe across all platforms. Specifically Instagram we use a lot. We also have a Facebook group, Hollywood Fringe Festival. That is our Facebook group, so make sure you're engaging on social. And start using hashtag HFF25 when you are, doing rehearsal photos or advertising your show. Start engaging with the community now. Okay, let's talk booking a venue. And one more page, y'all, one more page. So how does booking a venue work? The venue has to be in the Fringe zone. Currently, the zone is Franklin to the north, Normandy to the east, Rosewood to the south, and Fairfax to the west. I'm going to note here, there is a chance we will expand the zone in the next 2 weeks. We will announce that via our newsletter, which you'll be signing up for if that happens. Like I said, that is still an up in the air thing, but that may happen this year. Participation in the festival is open access as long as the participants and the material follows our code of conduct. You can find that at hollywoodfringe.org/conduct. For learning anything, if you're trying to find something, try hollywoodfringe.org/whatever word you think that would be, and it usually works. So we do not curate outside of, again, the code of conduct, but venues might. So you're learning, a lot of our venues don't, but there might be some, maybe they don't take 2-hour run times. Maybe they don't, maybe they're focused on queer work in their space or, whatever it is, talk to your venues and make sure you are the right fit. But I would say most of our venues have a pretty open come and play if the show fits. Festival gives 100% of box office sales back to the participant. So that is going straight to y'all. We don't take a cut of any of the money. 50% of your tickets do have to be sold through the Fringe website or available on the Fringe website. I say that now because there are some changes depending on your venue, because again, you have 50% of tickets that you can sell elsewhere if you choose, or you can put them all on the website, up to you. Some things you must do in order to participate. Create a project page. How many people have done that so far? Okay, not bad. You must register starting February 1st, and you must book a venue in the Fringe zone, right? All three of those things have to happen. every year there will be oh shit, I didn't book a venue or I didn't register. All of those things need to happen in order to be a participant. 2 and 3 can happen any order. You can book a venue before you pay the registration. You can pay the registration before you book a venue, as long as both happen. You can find all of the venues that are currently registered at hollywoodfringe.org/venues. Again, it still works. There are some that are not here tonight, and there are some that will be added later. So that is a page that is worth keeping tabs on, checking in on every so often. Once you've created a project page, you can apply directly to any of the venues that are listed on the website. So when you were asked all the questions, if anyone has gone through that process yet, there's questions like, what kind of tech needs do you have? How many people are in your cast? Those are developed so that the venue has an idea about your show going into this process. So you can, in a click of a button, apply to multiple spaces. So you can apply maybe 7 of these spaces sound amazing to you. Apply to them all, have conversations with them all, tour them all. This is very much like shopping for an apartment. You want to find the right fit, both aesthetically, does it give you the ooey-gooeys? You feel artistic in that space? Is it financially affordable? Every venue is going to be different. There is no cookie cutter version of a venue at Fringe. So make sure you're asking questions and really finding that right fit for you. Do not assume that just because you have applied to a venue, you are booked in. Make sure, I'm trying to get all of the, please don't do these out of the way now. Make sure you are following up and not, give them time. They have so many participants that are emailing them and applying, so give them time. But please don't apply to one venue, call a day, and then 2 months later go, oh, I wonder if I have a venue, because you probably don't. So keep that in mind. Okay, y'all, I think that is the most of the announcements. I know. I should have mentioned earlier, I tend to talk really fast. Please start waving your hands rapidly if I'm no longer understandable. That will happen. Okay, so venues. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of the festival. Y'all, you don't know how lucky you are. These venues are incredible. Beyond just having cool and amazing spaces, they really care about your journey. So I'm so excited for you to get to know them. So we're going to start with Zeke here and just go down the line with 3-minute intros, or 4 if you have multiple spaces, starting with your name, pronouns, and a visual description. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Hi, everybody. My name is Zeke Retman. My pronouns are he, him. My visual description is I am a white man wearing black pants and black jacket. Black. Okay. I'm with the Hudson Theater. And the Hudson is 2 99-seat theaters and 1 43-seat theater on Santa Monica Boulevard, right down the way on the other side of Highland, Theater Row. We have a little coffee shop that serves as the lobby for the 3 theaters. We've got a marquee out front. Am I doing that? Is that what I'm doing?
Yeah, you're doing
Is
so
that what
good.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We've got a great staff. We've been around for 35 years almost. We're coming up on our 35th year. I've been there for a while.
True.
Yeah. It's a great place to do theater. It's a great place to come watch theater. We love Fringe. We love taking care of our clients. We have valet parking. We're getting our wonderful landlord is currently renovating our restrooms. They look amazing. I know, it's very cool. I know. We just got new carpet in our larger 2 theaters. Anyway, we're not talking prices tonight. That's not what the venue panel is for. So if you're wondering why I'm not talking about that, it's because none of us will be.
This will be something you ask the individual venues during the many tours you take, the emails you send, or tonight at the meet and greet.
Yeah.
Zeke, I have a question that you didn't cover.
Yeah,
what services come with your cost? Because I know you have a few.
That's a good. Okay. Yeah, Hudson's a little different, I think, than maybe some of the ways some of these other venues will operate, in that we do an all-inclusive hourly rate. I'm not talking about pricing, but we include a house manager, a box office person, a tech operator. We include a couple hours of tech time, at least. I mean, I think we all do that, right? The tech time. So it's an all-inclusive thing, and I can give you more details when we talk, one-on-one.
Do you have any ticketing requirements in your space?
Our website, hudsontheater.com, if you go to buy tickets for shows at the Hudson Theater, you do have to have tickets listed with a local ticket agency called Onstage 411, which we will set up for you. And we generally recommend that 20 or 30% of your tickets are listed there, just for a visibility on our website, and that the rest of them should be listed on the Fringe site. But it's not a requirement. You can do it however you like.
I think you covered it.
All right.
17 seconds to spare. Thank you, Z.
Like 2.5.
All right.
Oh, it's
Jen?
fine. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Go.
Hi, friends. My name is Jen Crafts, and my husband Greg over there. Together, we are the Stage Crafts. So if you see that name, that's our company name. And who I am, my pronouns are she, her. I've got brown curly hair, and I'm wearing a multicolored sweater that I made. Woo! I like to crochet. Fun fact. So, yes. And in terms of our venues, so if you have seen me before, we've had multiple venues. And they keep changing. So this year we have the Madnani Theater, which is a 49-seat venue. It's close to the LGBT Center, and that's going to be the venue that you're going to want if you have like an ensemble piece or a solo show that needs a wide stage with isolation points. So it's quite a large stage. It's quite a wide stage. It's like 32 feet wide, and it's about 15 deep. So it's long and skinny, but sometimes that is perfect for what you're looking for. And then if you want something totally different, we are also working with Daimili Arts this year, which is on Santa Monica and Western. And that is a beautiful kind of creative facility. So that has everything from a grand performance hall with a bar area and a lounge area, amazing 99-seat venue there. And then there's a dance studio there as well that seats 75. And then there is a 50-seat venue and then a smaller, intimate 30-seat venue. So that space could have anything from giant ensemble pieces to, immersive shows to like very intimate solo shows. So it really just depends on what you need, but we have sort of something for everyone there. And then here's some of the ones that are not on the Fringe site yet.
Exclusive.
Howard Fine Acting Studio has been venue in the past, but this year they are moving, and they are actually moving quite close to here. They are taking over one of the old Sam Ash buildings up on Sunset. It does not have walls yet. So it is going to be brand new. They have a contractor in there who is building this literally from the ground up. Greg is a lighting designer. He's consulting with them, and we're basically building it so that is a little bit more of a performance space than they've had before. But that is going to be a 50-seat venue. I have seen all the drawings for it. I've toured it as it is right now. They are actually moving in March, so it will be available for tours in March. I'm very, very excited to get that up on the Fringe site and pictures and whatnot, but you don't want to see it now. It's like drywall. But I am really excited about that space. That's going to be brand new to the Fringe this year. But the Howard Fine Acting Studio name is, if you look that up on the Fringe page, you might see some archived information about it. It's going to be a different space than that. So, yeah. Oh, what we include. So we include a tech and a dress rehearsal for all of our shows. Greg and I have actually produced at Fringe every single year since it started in 2010, up to 3 shows. Do not recommend, but at least one. So we have made all the mistakes already. And the first thing that we came up with when we became venue managers was we need more tech time. So we include a tech and we include a dress rehearsal the following week, so you can actually come back and do your show with the tech already programmed, and then you can run through it in performance conditions. The other thing that we do is we do all of our scheduling up front in blocks, meaning if you wanted to pick a schedule tonight, I could give you a schedule tonight because I have them all. So what is nice about that, though? Oh, no. What's nice about that, though, is if you have an ensemble piece, you can tell your whole cast, here's your dates. So there you go. The end.
All right. I'm Patrick Duffy. I run the Broadwater, which is Santa Monica and Lillian. We have 4 spaces and a bar, a full-service bar on site. The 4 spaces it's a Goldilocks of theaters. They're all very different. Our smallest space is our studio. It's 21 seats, can be expanded to 28. Then we have a small black box that's 50 seats, and it's sort of in a 3/4 configuration. We have a 72-seat, can be expanded to 81-seat second stage, which is more of a proscenium feel with risers. And then we have a large main stage, which is 96 seats. It has a pretty large stage and sort of a lot of room for bigger things. And then the bar, the Broadwater Plunge, is on the corner there. The liquor and sales have to stay in that room, but it's a fun sort of clubhouse for the building during Fringe. And we have expanded hours at that during Fringe as well. So it's a great hub. We have many of the other venues, we have packages. We have 3, 5, 7, and 9 show packages for 30, 60, or 90-minute performances. So we do not have 2-hour performances in our venue because we try to get as many shows as possible in there. And our prices are all inclusive. So we have in our package price, it's the insurance if you need it. It's the stage manager. It's the rental fee. It's the tech time. It's all just one price. And we do our schedules up front. So we put your exact times in your agreement. So when you sign and pay, you know exactly when your performances will be. And what am I missing? Oh, I didn't do I'm he, him. And I'm wearing the guy who's been talking this whole time is he, him, black jacket, jeans, black shoes, white guy, old tired white guy. And what else am I missing? Parking. We don't have any dedicated parking. There's a lot of street parking, and it's on Lillian and Santa Monica. It's metered till 7 and free after that. Everything south of us is just open. I mean, there's street cleaning, but you're not going to hit that for Fringe. So it's just open. So although I would love to have a parking lot, it's rarely an issue. It may take a few minutes, but I get very few complaints about parking. So anything on your list?
You did great.
All right.
Yeah,
Awesome. Yay. Thanks.
16 minutes to spare. Okay. I'm going to actually jump in really quickly because I think that's a great question. Parking. And we tend to forget it, and I don't have it on my list. Let's do a quick show of hands. Who does have parking next to their venue? That is like guaranteed with the venue. Yeah. Yeah. And so naming too, and for the most part, yeah, the Hollywood area. I mean, granted, it's a pain in the ass, but it's not impossible. Okay, great. Thank you. Lauren, all you.
Okay. I wrote everything down so I don't forget this year. Lauren Golston Salazar, this place, the Actors Company, is my theater. And I'm her, wearing a purple jacket, and I'm gorgeous.
Yeah.
This is a 3-theater venue. We have this one here, which is the Let Live Theater. It is our traditional theater. It has 61 of these raked seats, the red plush theater seats, and it can expand up to 80. We have our other space theater, which you're all invited to have some refreshments afterwards. It's 2 doors down, same venue. And that one is a flexible theater. Everything moves. It can go anywhere from 50 to 70 seats, depending on how you configure it. Platforms move, chairs move, everything moves. So it's fun. And you can't have a director say you couldn't do it because they're lying. They could do it in that space. So
the claws are out.
Yeah. And then we also have our little theater. And I describe mine as the Goldilocks too.
Oh.
So, but I felt like if I said it now, but I do. I also, like Pedrick, have a small theater, which is very frequently a great spot for solo shows. And that one has 21 seats with a room to expand up to 26 seats. And it's a fun little space. And that too is open if you want to take a look today at it. So as far as services are concerned, and we're located a block and a half south of Santa Monica Boulevard and 1 block west of La Brea Avenue. We do have parking. We guarantee any production 1 parking spot right out the door of the theater. That's your load in, load out car, and it's guaranteed while you're scheduled to be here. And then there's ample street parking, and we're also blessed with the Target Gateway Mall a block away. So if worse comes to worse, you park there and you walk over a block. We also, fortunately, have a lot of wonderful restaurants here. Formosa Cafe on the corner, Jones's, Rock and Roll Sushi, and it goes on and on. We take care of the box office for you, the tech staff, insurance, concessions. We take care of on-site traffic, making sure people go into the right spaces and all that kind of stuff. We also do some social media for you, both individual for the individual shows as well as for all the shows. On the site, we put up show posters, postcards, TVs that scroll all the details of the event, so everybody is very aware of what's going on here. Also, additionally available is more extensive social media campaigns if you want to do that. Graphics design, press releases, video reviews, photography, videography, and dramaturgical services. And what you need to do is provide someone to collect tickets at the door, put on a great show, and have fun. Scheduling. Ours is a little different. My philosophy is a little bit different. I run the film festivals, like I said. So I have come from a festival mentality where you kind of schedule everything on it as a whole. I do it for a couple of reasons. One, to make sure that everyone has a fair and equitable schedule. Any conflicts that you have said we will honor, make sure of that. If we take your contracts, it means we're going to honor that. And also, it allows us to, first of all, if you have any late adjustments.
Here, finish up your thought, though,
Okay,
please.
so if you have any late adjustments to the schedule, like somebody all of a sudden has a new job and they can't do Fridays, you can still tell us that, and it's not a big deal. And also, more importantly, is if there's somebody, let's say another friend of yours is doing another show in one of our other venues, we will schedule back to back. Or if thematically we think that two shows, maybe two magic shows might go nicely together, we'll schedule a back to back performance and then have the producers be introduced so that they may promote together and make it easy for people to come and see two shows for the time that they're one trip. And that's it. The rest of it I'll stick in when she asks me what's special about us. I will save that.
Yes. Well planned. Thank you, Owen. All right, Aaron.
Hello, my name is Aaron Lyons. He, him. I'm wearing clothes, most outwardly a patch jacket, a jean jacket with a bunch of patches on it. My facial hair and hair on top of my head changes depending on what I'm acting in at the moment, so I apologize for the mustache. I know it's a little creepy. I manage the McCadden Place Theater, founded in 1980 by Joe Rinaldi and Jay Donahue. We've been in operation for 45 years. It has very high ceilings with a built-in balcony for the actors or the audience if you want to swap the whole thing around. Let's see. Our performance times are Thursday late nights through Sunday late nights. During the week, during weekday evenings, we have classes in there, so that's not available. We try to schedule something that's a little bit equitable for all the shows, so you'll get a primetime slot, an afternoon slot, a late night slot, unless your show is for children, a little kid's show. We don't want to start at midnight. Or maybe you do. We'll get into conversation about that. What the McCadden offers, lighting plot, but we all have lighting plots. We have a storage up in the loft of furniture and props that you can use for your show. Chairs, tables, couches, blocks, cubes, phones, all sorts of stuff that people have left at the theater over the years. And now you can use that.
Presents.
and that is included as part of the cost. We provide a tech person as well. We found that it's easier in case something goes, because you're an awesome tech person. We have an experienced tech person. We are playing this year with providing a box office, which traditionally the McCadden has not done. And I am currently in negotiations for 10 parking spaces across the street. We're trying to figure all of that out.
Fancy.
I know.
So much bragging on the stage tonight.
We are on McCadden and Lexington. The owners of the building also own the Madnani.
We should talk about
it. I know. I was trying to keep it a secret. and we're up the street from the McCadden, from the LGBT Center. I think I've worked in almost every venue that's on this panel, either as an actor, director, tech person, painting walls. Done Fringe since the second year. As you name it, I've done it in Fringe, and I will be your tech person. Was that the first one? That was the first one. Anyway, and that's all I got to say.
The McCadden has stairs. It's an important point for most people to know.
Yeah.
Well, the balcony.
Well, yeah, but I don't know that. You didn't say it.
Well, how else would you get to the balcony?
Well, but
With stairs?
anyways, I'm trying to help you out with your space here, sir.
I appreciate
I've already
it.
had 2 people reach out that need stairs.
Thank you, Amber.
Hey guys, I'm Calvin from the Eastwood Performing Arts
Beautiful segue. Thank you. Calvin gets extra 10
Calvin
seconds.
from Eastwood. Last year we were the new kids on the block, but now in our sophomore year, visual description for I'm Calvin, he, him, white male with short hair and a black jacket. And I'm the senior member of this panel. And with that age comes so much wisdom and experience. No. I run the Eastwood Performing Arts Center. We have 2 spaces, the 99-seat Eastwood main stage, which is built for bigger shows, things with larger casts, or if you have any high set pieces. We have a very high grid. I'm sorry. And we have a 32-seat black box we call the Oxford Underground. It's meant for more intimate shows, one-person shows, small casts, and comedy. It's really great for comedy as well. Both of our spaces have 4K projectors. The Oxford Underground has surround sound, and the main stage has 5.1 sound. In our packages, we do 5-show packages that includes you get a tech, a dress, and 5 performances. You also we're adding a 30-minute load in and 30-minute load out included with that to make sure you guys can park in the neighborhood and your audience has time to arrive on time. That also includes your house manager. Outside of that, you'll pay your venue technician who we appoint to you directly. And if you need insurance, we offer an insurance writer. Let's see. We also do upfront scheduling. So we're first come, first serve. We'll go over some dates with you when you come in, and you will settle on your tech, dress, and your performance dates based on what we have left. We'll put it in the contract, and you'll know what days to book your cast for when you're booked. Outside of that, our neighborhood has a lot of great street food. Yes. So we have a parking lot that is as of now, I can't promise it. We have a great neighbor with a parking lot she lets us use, and we charge $10 to park, and we give her the money. But right now the city is thinking about buying it and turning it into a really useful homeless shelter, which would also improve the neighborhood. But so for right now, we're really hoping we'll still have it during June, but we can't make any promises. If we don't have it, there's always a paid lot at the corner of Western and Santa Monica, which is just 1 block away from us.
Calvin, do you have any storage in your space?
Last year we were able to offer storage, but my line to everyone is right now the answer is no. Once I get our calendar filled, I'll evaluate what everybody's needs are and see what I can offer.
Nice.
We're at the corner of Oxford and Santa Monica. Right, it's on Santa Monica heading east right before you get on the 101.
Well, that timing was very well done. Awesome. Thank you. And Amber.
Hi, my name's Amber Bruegel. She, her. I have orange hair with a blonde money piece right now. Just we'll see during Fringe. It's always different colors. I'm wearing all black with some satin pants. I run 3 theaters. Well, actually, I run 4 theaters within Theater Planners. 3 of our locations are participating in Fringe this year. Our largest space is the Zephyr Theater. It's on Melrose and Gardner. We have 74 seats with an option to add 10 extra folding chairs, so a max of 84. It's unique because it's got a 3/4 thrust stage, so you have audience on 3 sides. It's a large capacity, but feels really intimate. We have an outdoor courtyard there, which is really nice, especially in June, for your audience to arrive on. We sell concessions at all of our venues that we do allow into the theater, so it's a nice little perk for your audience. At the Zephyr, our stage is 18 feet deep and 20 to 30 feet wide. We have 2 traditional entrances and 1 peekaboo entrance through the tech booth. It's great for larger shows with 2 dressing rooms for larger casts. Our next space is upstairs at El Centro. It's on Santa Monica and El Centro, 1 block east of Vine. If you're familiar with the old lounge theaters, it's right upstairs from that. It's not our old studio that we had. It's across the hall from that. So if you think you've seen it before, I promise you have not, and you should come check it out again. It has exposed brick, which is really fun. Feels like Lounge 2 if you know what I'm talking about. It has 47 seats with a private lobby, so it's really nice. 24 feet wide, 17 feet deep, with 2 winged flats for like tuck-arounds for bathroom, kitchen exit, and 1 traditional entrance. It's great for solo shows or smaller casts, I would say. Our third space is a new one. It's not listed on the website yet. It's Lounge on Melrose. I had an improv show reach out to me to bring it to Fringe, and I've just been waiting for someone to say they want to use it. So we have 5 studios there, which is really unique if you have an improv show. The current show that is inspiring us to bring it to is using all 5 theaters to have their audience, or studios to have their audience kind of move throughout the spaces. They're acting studios, so not black walls, not black stage or anything, but very unique. So if you need a unique space, reach out to me for that. Okay, what comes with all of our spaces? All the spaces have in-house set pieces, which is nice, so you don't have to bring your own couch. We have one on site. We do marketing for all of our shows that are participating with us. We do social media. You're posted on our websites. We do group banners and posters. You get 2 hours of tech time in our spaces. We have a few additional costs, such as box office and the tech person. We do require you to use our tech person, as with almost every other theater. Insurance, it's all laid out in our brochure, so it makes sense what the rates are, so you know going in. We book per performance and in 15-minute increments. So what that means is if you do have a longer run show, as much as I'm going to try and talk you out of a 2-hour show, I will book it, but I'm going to try and talk you out of it first. And then we work with you to schedule your shows. So you give me your conflicts or any dates you're super desiring to do, how many performances you want, and then we'll send over a proposed schedule. You can say, hey, I really don't like this first date. Okay, great. Here's another option. So I won't let you just pick your dates, but you get a lot of say in your dates. Best to reach out to us via email. And I think that's everything.
Yeah. With 3 seconds to spare. Okay. Yeah, I am so proud over here.
Nice.
Yes. All right, Jade, all you.
Hi, my name is Jade Warner, she, her. I'm wearing jeans, a gray blazer, black turtleneck. This is our second year with Fringe. Yeah, kind of sophomore, status. It's the GGC Theater. We are located at 6502 Santa Monica Boulevard. We're right on the corner of Santa Monica Boulevard and Wilcox. We have been in production for over 8 years, kind of doing our own theater productions. And last year we opened it up to other participants like you. It is a 49-seat theater. All the seats are brand new. We have a very wide stage. It's 15 feet deep by 20 feet long. And our ceilings, they go very, very high. So it is limitless with your ideas. We have about 4 bathroom stalls. 2 are handicap accessible. Also, we have handicap accessibility for your guests. We have a dressing room. We have an alley in the back, which is a nice place for, concessions, gatherings before and after your show. When you book with us, you do get a tech person, you get some rehearsal time, you get tech time. We are asking, though, for our participants to get their own insurance, but I have many of resources for that. It's very easy to get. We do offer box office support if you need it, but we would rather have you guys handle your box office, hire whoever you have so that you can handle it on your own. Let's see, what else? I wrote down so many things. What other questions were there?
Yeah, how does tech and rehearsal time work at your venue?
So it's included in the packages, but it's 2 times the amount of whatever your show is. So if you book 60-minute show, you'll get 120 minutes. If you book a 90-minute show, that's times 2, whatever, right? So, and I think that's it. We do offer live stream if you are thinking about that. We do have a projector. And basically, we just want to say congratulations to all you guys because it's a big step, putting up your own work.
Yeah.
And we're here for you guys. Thanks.
Woo! Oh, 1 minute to spare. Amazing. Fun fact, since there's an extra minute here, GGC was Fringe Central back in the day for about 3 years. So there's definitely a lot of Fringe memories, Fringe is, our heart is there for
parking.
sure.
There's so many street parking on Santa Monica, Wilcox, all that neighborhood stuff.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, Richter, last but certainly not least.
Hello. It's so weird speaking to this and not hearing myself amplified in the room.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just,
So I guess everyone knows this is connected to the live stream. In case you're wondering, oh my God, all of these idiots run venues. It's the live stream that's picking up the mic.
hi, I'm Matt Richter.
It's getting silly up in here.
Hi, I'm Matt Richter. He, him. I'm literally a beard with a mouth. I am the technical director for the Los Angeles LGBT Center and have also been involved with Fringe since year number 2. And boy, do I feel it. We run the Davidson Valentini Theater, which is a up to 64 seat black box venue, 1 block east of Santa Monica, 1 block east of Highland, 1 block north on Santa Monica, on McCadden. We are centrally located kind of in the middle of a whole bunch of venues. We do offer on-site parking. We have a 200 spot underground lot that we are fortunate enough to have. Thank you. I'll take all the credit for it. We have a rather large courtyard area where we set up a dedicated box office for the theater. We offer tech support, a stage manager for your shows, and we also have dedicated bathrooms for performers in the back and audience in a separate lobby. I'm just trying to break the record of how much time everybody else took. I am a lighting designer by trade, so I try and keep my venue as technologically advanced as I can. And I also want to say, having worked in every single one of these venues on stage, you can't go wrong with any of these spaces. You will find a space that's perfect for your show anywhere here. And I know that everyone will make sure that you wind up in the venue that's best for you. Oh, also, coming to us, you help support LGBT youth and seniors. So there's that added thing. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, I don't know how you can beat that last statement. I know. So I think at this point you just have to.
But how much time did I say?
Yeah. Oh, you have 1 minute and 3 seconds. So I do believe we have a winner. Yeah.
That means I get the toaster.
Yeah. Perfect. No, but what a perfect segue too, because you're not wrong. Literally all of these venues want you to succeed. And so they will potentially tell you, you know what, my venue is not right for your show. I do not have the things that are required to really give you the experience you are after. And they will recommend each other. They, as you can tell, the camaraderie is real. They care about each other. They care about the participants that come into their spaces. So know that if, another venue gets recommended to you, it's out of care for the integrity of your production, not get away from me. And in that same regard, please be caring and kind when it comes to, touring multiple venues. Like we talked about, we encourage you to talk to multiple of these fabulous humans, to see several of their spaces. That doesn't mean you should ghost them. They're people, they have feelings, and they have other participants who are asking about space. If you were in conversation about a package of 3 shows, there's the timer.
That's enough, Lois.
All right. But be kind. It's a small industry, and you will want the. Okay. I feel like I'm awake. Okay. But you will interact with these people. Again, you will want, the space for a future show or a future Fringe, or everyone knows everybody. So it's a great chance to practice your professionalism, and remember that your reputation is always 5 feet in front of you. So remember that as you are working with these venues in the booking process. Okay, round 2. Y'all, that was really, really wonderful. We have never been so good on time, so we can really start to get silly now. But round 2 is just a quick show of hands. So we've kind of touched on it a little bit. But I want to talk about live stream. So for anyone new to the festival, live stream is something we started in the COVID years. While dark in a lot of ways, it was a really good chance for us to figure out the live stream element of live theater and what it does for accessibility beyond just, of course, at a time where people couldn't leave their house because they were quarantined. It does add a level of accessibility. Even just being able to say, hey, Mom, you're in Washington, but you can come see my show on this particular performance because I'm live streaming it, right? So we do have the option for you to live stream productions. You cannot do a pay-per-view recording, but if you did want to live stream simultaneously, you can do that for 0, 1, all of your shows, entirely up to you. And so with that, I want to check in with venues who offers a live stream package that participants can pay for. Great. Keep your hands up just for a second. Perfect. Okay, so know that is optional to you. And other venues how many venues would allow someone to come in with a third party and stream their... Okay, perfect. So that's great. Yeah, just to give you an idea. And this is certainly less popular, but we still at least have, I think it was 7% of shows last year, or 7% of performances were live streamed last year. So it's still something that is happening, which is great. Okay, second, insurance. And this one can be a little scary for someone who's new to producing. So I promise it's not. How many venues will add a participant to the rider, either at an additional cost or at included in the package? How many venues will take care of that so the producer doesn't have to panic? Okay, yeah, so I'll keep it up for a second just so people can kind of scan the room. Perfect. And then again, if your venue is not offering to add you to the rider, they likely have options. I know Jay talked about that, and Fringe does as well. And it's not crazy expensive. So know that there are options, and your venue or Fringe is happy to walk you through some options that offer. We have one that will offer a discount for Fringe shows. So know that is a thing. Okay. Also, a good reminder, if you read your agreements, because things like insurance are going to be included, right? We require you as Fringe to have insurance. If you were rocking a Fringe show without insurance, So this is a great reminder in general to read your Fringe agreements, both from Fringe and from your venues. These are, while we have a wonderful partnership, a venue cohort, there are separate business transactions within this. You have an arrangement with Fringe and you have an arrangement with your individual venue. Both are contracts and both are important. So make sure you get in the habit of reading them. I know they're not exciting material, but it will certainly be exciting when you go back and wish you had read it because now, you have a cost you weren't anticipating, that sort of thing. Okay, I think that covers those questions. Let's do a quick speed round. So what I'm going to do is ask some questions, and we're just going to speed on down the line, less than 3 minutes, but we do have the time if you want to give a more detailed answer. So let's talk about how you manage your booking. I know some of you went through it, but I think it's kind of good to go one by one so people know what to expect. So starting with Zeke, how do you manage booking in your venue? Do you work out the schedule with productions, or how do you work out the schedule with productions in your spaces? What kind of packages do you offer, or is it show by show? And what is the average load in and load out time in your spaces?
Okay, we are first come, first serve. We don't really do packages. We have a 3 performance minimum, but you can do 4, you can do 5, you can do 6, doesn't matter. You can do whatever time is available. We'll talk to you about what we've got. You can take what we've got based on availability. What was the other part of the question? We offer an hourly rate for our performances, which you need to consider how much time you want. Some shows want an hour before their show, and that's fine. Some shows want 15 minutes before their show. We'll prorate to 15 minutes based on our hourly rates. That's not scary. It's easy. It's math. That's all I got.
Hi, Jen, Stagecraft, Emily, Donnie, Howard Fine, maybe more. They're coming. So for our scheduling, I talked about it a little bit, but we do set packages, so they are already done. But especially now, earlier in the year, we can Tetris things around. So what usually happens is that you'll see a schedule and go, oh my gosh, I really like these 4 performance dates and times, but I just can't do that one. No problem. I can switch back and forth. Now, if it is the last package available because it is May 15th, I might not be able to do that. But now, no problem. Tetris it around. I've had it happen. None
of us appreciate that last minute of a decision.
We'll make it happen. We don't have a minimum, but we do to include the tech and dress within the packages. It is 3 shows or more. You can do 1 show or 2 shows, but then that tech and dress would just be at an hourly rate instead. Oh, also, I forgot to mention before, all of our venues are ADA accessible, which I'm excited to say because I haven't always been able to say that about my venues, but they are. Thymele is all upstairs, but there's an elevator. Woo! What was the other question? That was it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pedrick, Broadwater. So we have 15-minute load in, load out. We're pretty, we are pretty strict on sort of in our Tetris of our schedule, keeping sort of everything regulated. So it's always a 15-minute load in, 15-minute load out. As I said before, we have 3, 5, 7, 9 show packages. So 3 is the minimum amount of shows you can do. And then we can do 30, 60, 90 minute. We don't go longer than a 90. So for your 90-minute show, you have a 15-minute load in, 90 minutes for your show, 15-minute load out. I'll get your conflicts. I can't do Wednesdays or I have a wedding that weekend. And then I will crunch a schedule and then run it by you. And if it's cool with you, then we'll go with that. So we definitely get a lot of feedback, but there's a lot that goes into trying to craft. We'll probably have between 100 and 120 productions in our building. So there's a lot of crafting of how to make that all work. So it's first come, first serve in that, if you book now, there's more options and I can do scheduling, but it's not, you can take all the 8 p.m.s on a Friday because you're first there. We try to make sure it's equitable throughout the process, and we're ADA accessible. We have relatively, every year they get older, but relatively new ADA bathrooms. And What else? Is that
No, that's
All right,
great. And I'm going to name nobody wants all 8 p.m. on weekend schedules.
No, yeah, you don't want it anyway.
Yeah, and that's, I think, advice you'll get across the board. This is a festival setting. Like, so you're going to do well by having multiple different times, multiple different days. You know, I love nothing more than like a Sunday at like 10 a.m. or a Thursday at 7. Like, these are like the non-prime times are actually going to get you more artists into your spaces, especially.
Okay. We also offer the 3, 5, 7, 9 show packages. You can even do a 4 show by adding an extra show. I mean, so whatever you need. We got 30, 60, 90-minute shows. We can do 2-hour shows as well. It's not recommended in Fringe because the whole attitude of people in Fringe is, I can sit through anything for an hour, It is. It's true.
In general, these days, we live in Netflix world.
That. Once they get into 2 hours, it's like, oh, this is a commitment.
So that said, I just booked a 2-hour. That said, I just booked a 2-hour show. Like, people do it, and it's fine. You just want to check with the venue to see who allows it. We do.
So a load in with us also 15 minutes in, 15 minutes out. You can purchase additional time. Some people want to do a 30-minute load in. That's fine. Just let us know what actual start time, what the start time is so that we can advertise it properly on the website when we put up the schedule so that people aren't coming up 15 minutes early or 15 minutes late, that they're coming as they're planning to run from show to show, that they know accurately when your show starts. Let's see. What else? What else did you want in this section here?
No, that was good. That was good. You did great.
Yeah, schedule. With the schedule, we post it just before the Fringe guide locks. And for the most part, everyone's really happy with their schedule because I do a good job of it. I really do. I put a lot of thought into it based on your show, individually, what your show might need and how I think it could work well, because I want you all to succeed. It only makes me look better.
It's true. It's true.
Aaron?
Aaron Lyons, McCadden Theater. A quick side note about the 15-minute load-in, load-out that you're hearing. It's not nearly as scary as you're imagining. I remember I saw a full restoration comedy set load in and ready to go in 11 and a half minutes. It's completely possible. Don't let that scare you.
But dry runs help.
Yeah. And your venues will guide you in the best way to do that. So we do a 15-minute load in, 15-minute load out. If you need more time than that, like most of the other venues, speak with us about it and we'll see what we can. Our packages are based on a 5-package show, including your preview. If you want more or less, again, speak with us and we can make arrangements. And like I said earlier, we try to vary your times throughout all the things.
You got all the information. Well done.
Calvin, Eastwood Performing Arts Center. We also do 5-show packages. The only real restriction we have on when you get your show is we want to share all the primetime slots. So we do have 2 max primetime slots for all of our shows. But we're first come, first serve. So if you take a tour with us, what we'll do and you want to see some dates, either I'll sit down there with you and pull out the calendar and I'll ask you if X amount of dates will work for you and I'll put it in an email for you to approve. Or if you want to go home and think about it, we can have a call and do the same thing over the phone. Our 5-show packages does include your tech, your dress, preview, and 4 shows, and the 30-minute load in and 30 minutes load out, and your house manager. I think I went through it all now twice.
Yeah. So good.
Great.
Amber, I have the Zephyr Theater upstairs at El Centro and Lounge on Melrose. We book however many performances you want. So 1, 5, 7. If you're going over 7, please be a Fringe veteran. Trust me, if you're a newbie, you don't want to do that many shows.
Or have a built-in community already here.
Yeah, or have it. Thank you. Or have a built-in community and following already. We book in 15-minute increments with an hour minimum, and then we schedule your shows together. We go back and forth. Again, reiterating what everyone said, we're not going to give you every 8 p.m. on Friday night, but we're going to find a good compilation of times and dates for you. Send us an email. We can talk that through, or if you come to one of our open houses, we can talk that through. We don't do packages, like I said, but we're really fairly priced for however many performances you want. I will say if you're doing one, you should do more than one. it's if you're already putting in all that effort and time and money, because you're going to have insurance and you're going to have to tech your show, and it costs money. One performance isn't enough to recoup your money. You should think about 2, possibly 3, which is why a lot of the venues have a 3 minimum, because that's what usually is best, even if it is a solo show. I think that's it.
Yeah, I'm going to add in because, just to give you some context, because you're 100% right. One is not worth it. We used to have a discount for a one-off show. We took that away because we didn't even feel good about encouraging people to do one show, because you will not get the festival experience. It would be cheaper just to do a one-off in a theater on a standalone single run. So yeah, not recommended.
Hi, Jade with the GGC Theater. Again, like everybody, we have packages, 3, 5, 7 shows. We do the 15-minute load in and load out. If you do need more time, we're definitely, open up for discussion. We want to give you guys a good show. And we do, for scheduling for your show times and everything, we book on a first come, first serve basis. So again, we try to be fair like everybody and make sure that you have what you want. And we're definitely open to discuss, any conflicts or anything that you may have.
Hello, Matt, LA LGBT Center. We work with this. I should point out, this is the first time in the festival since the center has been a venue that I haven't run everything by myself. And I'm not saying that to be snarky. I'm saying that because this year the entire cultural arts department of the center is behind Fringe and organized to help the shows be the best that they can be. Woo! That's not to say the shows weren't the best they could be when it was just me. I think they went pretty fine, to be honest.
You might sleep a little bit this June.
That's yes. That's yes.
We worry.
All of this is to say that one of my cohorts is Zach Davidson from the Coin and Ghost Theater Company, who have done a number of Fringe shows in the past. So he's actually organizing the schedule. All of the shows are in 2-hour blocks, with the goal being that no show is longer than 90 minutes, so that we have 15 minutes load in, 15 minutes load out. Or if you have a shorter show, half an hour, 45 minutes, you could run your show twice in the same block, which we've also done before. But Zach will work with you to create a schedule that is equitable and spread across the festival as best as we can. I do need to point out that the second weekend of the festival, Saturday, the 14th, that's exactly what I was going for. The center is closed for Fringe because we have the Trans Pride celebration. So that's the one day that is completely unavailable for the festival. But other than that, we want to work with you to craft as many shows as you want. We do have packages at 3 shows, 5 shows, and 7 shows, but you can do as many or as few shows as you want. But again, one show, people don't even know your show is happening by the time it's over. So and our space is ADA compatible. Compliant. I knew it was some C word.
It's Monday night. We're doing the best we can.
I think that's it.
Yeah. Oh.
So Calvin Eastwood, I forgot to mention, we start with a 5-show package, but if you do want less than 5 shows or more than 5 shows, we're happy to accommodate.
Same. Yeah, and it seems like for the most part, y'all, they've said it already, they want you to have a good Fringe experience, but they also know the boundaries of when it's not going to work. And that's where the advice comes in. I think speaking to, you've heard it more than once now, a 2-hour show is not recommended. I will also note that it never fails that shows that break the rules will still have massive success. But overall, what you're going to hear is the recommendations that we've heard and we've seen over time. The Fringe people will not just see one show in a night. Audiences will see sometimes 9 and rush show to show. I have missed shows because shows have gone over. So that's another thing to note. How long is your show really? Really understand how long your show is, and then know that, it is going to be harder to talk an audience member into giving up 2 hours during a festival where they could fit multiple 30-minute shows or 2 one-hour shows. So things to keep in mind. But again, the rules are only there as these are only suggestions. By all means, break the rules if you have a plan, if you have things in place that lead you to believe that there will be success there. Okay, let's talk community a little bit, because Fringe is all about community, y'all. Of course, we are a festival that is here to help you put up your work, but we are a cohort. It is a community that supports each other, that refills the artistic cup with joy and gooiness, and that goes for your venue relationships as well. So venues, how do you recommend a participant stays on your good side so that you have a great relationship and you can't wait to book them again in the future?
Oh, come on. Just be a good person and be nice and listen and ask questions. And I think we're all probably, Yeah. We love theater. We're in it because we love theater. We've been doing it our whole lives. Not some of us are younger, but let's just have a good time.
Yeah, the cardinal rule of Fringe is don't be a jerk. And also just know that venues have very specific rules for a reason. And sometimes they can be super annoying, but it is there to help everyone. And so, if there is specific restrictions about like, this is the program that you need to use for tech, or like, this is where you need to line up or something. That's for everyone. Like that's for everyone. We follow it when we produce our own shows, and it helps everyone else. So that's really important. And also just you have to be nice to the staff. We are, your show is definitely the most important to you, but we are working with up to 50 or 120 shows or whatever it is. And also know that we all talk. I get all the time, well, Greg told me, and I'm like, really? Because I'm married to Greg. And then they're like, oh, no, he didn't actually say that. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, generally just be nice. Take care of the space too. It is a shared space. So if you do have shared furniture that you're using, put it back where it's supposed to go. Don't touch anything that is not shared. So if there's anything that is another show's props or something that are being stored, don't touch them because things disappear. We have, and also we have some sensitive equipment in both Faimili and the Madnani. We have a piano that is available to shows there, and it's so generous that the owners of the building let us use that piano. But we have to be nice to it. So treat everyone and everything with respect. Oh, you already have.
I echo everything they said. Also, just sort of, especially, there's a lot of venues that have multiple spaces. They're programming a lot of shows. So just sort of, I know sometimes it feels like there's a big building. There must be a huge staff that's scheduled. Usually it's just one person. We're just fielding everything, doing all the stuff. So, I want to thank you in advance for your patience of like, if it takes 2 days to respond to an email, it's just because there's 100 emails before yours, so, and also trust the process. There's a lot of steps. And I think, I for myself, I promise we won't let you miss a step. So and it takes a while. So, we're booking now, the festival's in June. So there's a lot, it's a long process. So, by all means, reach out if you have a question or, the communication I don't want to hamper communication, but, don't get anxious that, well, I haven't done this part yet or this part. Cause we have a lot of spreadsheets. We keep track of a lot of stuff.
It's terrifying.
So we'll lead you along of the way. So you hit all the different things you need to do. And yeah, it'll be great.
But they said also have a sense of humor and be social, put on a great show. I've said that now twice, so I'm serious about this.
No pressure.
Have fun. And most importantly, you want to stay on my good side. Don't surprise me with blood, or don't surprise me with glitter, confetti, smoking. Discuss this in advance. We can work it out, but don't show up at the first performance and all of a sudden a bucket of blood gets poured on someone's head. It's happened. Don't do it. That's it.
I cannot emphasize enough, no glitter.
Yeah, no glitter.
Or feathers.
No confetti cannons, which has happened.
Yes.
All of the things being said, they're being said because they have happened and likely during Fringe.
Yeah.
Yeah, respect. Know that we all talk to each other. So don't be a you-know-what, because we all will find out. And yeah, we're here to make your show the best that it can be, knowing that it's your heart that you're putting on stage, and we have X number of shows that we are also helping you pump life into your baby. Yeah, don't be a dick. Serenity. Oh, sorry. Aaron Lyons, McCann Theater. Don't be a dick. Not you, Dave. I mean, just in general.
Calvin Piku, Eastwood. For me, I feel like trust is the most important thing, aside from everything everybody has said until now. A lot of us work on turnkey systems where if you're coming into the theater, you might be given a lockbox code or something and you're coming in. That's how we work. we want to make sure we can trust you in our space because we want you to feel like you can trust us in the space. We're really flexible. We're very accommodating. We just want to make sure if you have any needs that you're asking us, that you're not going into any doors that are clearly marked with staff only or something of the sort because you're looking for a screwdriver. If you ask, we will gladly help, but we don't want to find anyone peeking around in places they're not supposed to be or staying past their rehearsal times, because then we have to have a more professional discussion that doesn't make anybody feel good. So if you're forthright with your communication, everybody's going to have a good time. And also, just another big suggestion, the more Fringe events you go to, the better your show is going to sell.
Holla.
And the more money you'll get back, and the more people will talk about your show and write reviews. So please, I was a Fringe rookie as a venue manager last year. I'd been in Fringe once before, about 10 years ago. We didn't go to a lot of events, my first Fringe, when we were in the show, and I went to more events last year, and the people who I saw continuously showing up are the people who continuously had new audiences at their show. So participate.
Mm-hmm. It's very, very true. But also, you should not need a screwdriver in Fringe if you're in performance mode. You also shouldn't need a ladder. I'm just going to put that out there now. This isn't the topic, but we will accept blood and glitter if you have a plan and it doesn't leave anything on the floor.
Will you say one more time, you're accepting glitter?
If you have a plan. I mean, like, if I'm going to take glitter, you better be in a bathtub and none on the floor. Or there better be tarp everywhere.
Does it have to be a good plan?
Yeah, it's got to be pre-approved for me to accept it. No, because like we've taken it before. At the Lounge Theater, we had a show that completely was a bloodbath. Like they covered the walls, the stage, everything, the front row in tarps to be able to have it be a bloodbath, and it worked. It's very challenging to deal with. Mm-hmm. Anyways, I digress. Don't be a jerk. Be honest and upfront with what you need for your show and talk it through with all the different venues. See if you have something very specific for your show that you need. When you initially reach out to these venues, say, hey, I'm doing XYZ. I really need this element. And we're all going to talk through with you with what you need and what we have and what we can do and how we make it work. One thing I don't think any of us has mentioned yet, if you decide against our venue, zero hard feelings. Please let us know. Please let us know. We are constantly booking multiple shows at multiple times, especially if we've sent you a proposed schedule. Just say, hey, I've actually booked somewhere else. No problem. Have a great Fringe. We don't mind. There are plenty of shows to go around. And most of the time, even if your show doesn't work with ours, we're going to recommend another one to you. But just please don't ghost us, because it's very challenging and frustrating because we put a lot of time and effort into sending proposed schedules and so on and so forth. The other thing I forgot to mention earlier, my lovely assistant, Casey, raise your hand, is right here. So if you have questions about our spaces, you can ask her or you can ask me. Amber with Zephyr upstairs at El Central and Lounge on Melrose, or our parent company is Theater Planners. Venues.
Jade with the GGC Theater. I mean, I don't need to repeat anything that all of these wonderful, venues have said. No blood, no glitter. Don't be a dick. I think that's pretty much all we can just say. And it's true that we're willing to work with you. You're going to have so many creative thoughts, and the possibilities are seriously endless, but we definitely need to just know what they are. And I think Lauren said it best, like, just don't surprise us with anything, because it's not in our benefit. And I didn't mention this, but we definitely have furniture and we have things that you can use. And so if you are using those things, you treat it like it's your own, because it's probably used maybe in other Fringe festivals or in the theater group that I have at the GGC Theater. Thanks.
Matt again from the LA LGBT Center. One thing to keep in mind, every single person on this panel is also a theater maker. So we're not just venue managers, we're not just landlords. So if you do have an issue that you want to explore in the space, talk to us. We can help you figure it out. Whether it's a writing background, directing, producing, technical direction, we all possess a lot of skills. And I can tell you for a fact that any single one of us would be happy to help you troubleshoot. So that's all that I can add to that part of the conversation.
Yeah. And that's why you develop these good relationships, right? That's why you show up correct. That's why. And especially, I'm going to name it, when it comes to the guide deadline, that's when, I mean, the stress is real, right? You're doing something incredibly brave. You're producing your own work that is scary, and that adds stress. And a lot of people, when they stress, they become angry and mean, and it's not intentional, but it does happen. So that's when you're going to want to keep all of this in mind, because these people really are on your team. And the Fringe is a tight-knit community that wants to support you, that wants to give you advice. The knowledge share is so incredibly cool. Like, every one of these are going to have different panelists that are excited to share everything they have. They don't want to hold it in and, keep room at the table. No, they want every new producer to have the information they had coming in, and it really pays forward like that. So yeah, join in on the community, dive in and really embrace all of that could potentially come with the Fringe community. Okay, let's really quickly add in. I'm trying to. Okay, yeah. Sorry, let me decide. Do you have any specific shows that work in your spaces? I know we've kind of touched on size, but like, for people that are trying to give a category to their work, like, can you quickly name off like whether like, do musicals work really well? Do large cast, small cast, comedy, stand up? Like genres or types of shows that work best in your spaces.
So Zeke with the Hudson Theater, and we have 3 theaters, and one's a 43-seat theater, and certainly solo shows work great in there. And it's got great multimedia options in that one as well. The larger theaters are 99-seat theaters, and we do get big cast musicals. You can go pretty big. We have a solo show already this year in one of our 99-seat theaters, but that's not common. You should probably, whatever. But yeah, we can go pretty big. I mean, they're big stages. You get a big stage. We got some big stages up here. Yeah.
Jen with Stagecrafts, the Madnani and Daimili, and To Happen with Howard Fine. So with the Madnani, we've had a wide range of shows there. I actually was thinking it was going to be more of a smaller venue in terms of, no, it's not smaller venue, smaller show venue, like solo shows and two-handers. But I mean, honestly, like, we had a whole Romeo and Juliet there with a full band on stage, and like, it was amazing. So, and it has kind of skewed a little bit more towards like either solo show or big ensemble piece. And primarily with that space, I think it's because of the width, and because we get a lot of people who are like, I really need to have very distinctive areas where like I turn off the lights over here and I can only see over there. Sometimes that's hard to get in a smaller black box, but you can do it at the Madnani. So that's something to keep in mind. At Daimili, it is like, there's really something for everyone. There's Joyce Hall, that's like really this grand, beautiful hall with a bar, with a lounge, with performance space, but you could use the entire thing for like some kind of amazing immersive experience. I would love to see an immersive Shakespeare up there. Someone please do that. But so that one's beautiful. The Shirley Dawn Dance Studio actually has a Marley floor. So if you want to do like a full-on dance piece, that's the place to do it. But also, I feel like in that space, that's probably the most traditional black box space as well. So if you have just like an ensemble that you want to do in a black box, that's the one. I will say Shirley Dawn has the most limited schedule right now. So if that is something that you're interested in, you're going to want to get that early. And then there's the California and the Kansas rooms. And both of those, I think, are more like intimate, solo, two-hander, stand-up comedy, magic, those kind of things where you really want to be like really on top of, well, not on top of your audience, but like really be able to like see your audience's faces and be able to interact in that way. And yeah, so, but come check it out. It really just depends. You'll feel it.
Pedrick at the Broadwater. Yeah, and just like, if your show's not right for our venue, we'll recommend others. Also, with the venues that have multiple spaces, we can discuss with you about which space will fit your show the best. Usually you'll feel it, but you might have questions because it's the size of the space, the size of the stage, but also the size of the audience. So our main stage is our biggest space. That's big audience, big stage. So now in our small, I've seen a 10-person musical in our tiniest space, and I've seen successful one-handers in our big space. So, it really, your show, and we can have that conversation. But in general, our main stage, big audience, big stage. So that's where we'll have the big musicals, big shows. They fit well there. Our second stage is big audience, small stage. So intimate theater experience, but maybe you have you or want to do fewer shows, or you think you can have the audience where you can fill 70 to 80 seats. That works best. It's also proscenium feel if you want a more traditional space. And then our black box, 50 seats, intimate black box space. And then our studio is small stage, small audience. So that's really, that's the least stress of selling tickets, but then sometimes people will do 9 shows because they want tiny house, but they want to spread it out and they want to build word of mouth. So you really, when you're thinking in general, you want to think about size of the house, size of the space, and which combination of those things work well for the show you're doing.
Some of my favorite shows that I've ever seen in Fringe as an audience member were in the studio.
Oh yeah, and also it's not based on, I'm sorry, Patrick again. It's not like in general, like it's not the biggest stage is the biggest, deal in Fringe. Like the intimate, our studio, our 21 seat studio has had multiple pick at the top of the Fringe, in the tiny little space. So it's not, so don't pick the big space because you think that's the most high profile. A successful show can happen in any space.
Lauren, the Actors Company, the spaces, they all can do anything. This one has 2 dressing rooms. The space we're in right now, the Let Live, has 2 dressing rooms, which can seat up to 20 people. So this space can be handy for bigger casts. Solo shows have been in here as well. The other space is great for immersive. We'll be doing our refreshments and bar over there afterwards. So come on and join in. And get a lot of Shakespeare there, a lot of musicals in our big spaces too, because we don't have any nighttime neighbors. The ones right next door here are the little robots that deliver, so they never complain about the musicals. So that's really good neighbors. Yeah. People love the robots. When during the shows they all come out and they come home at night, and people love that. Why is this one not working?
Lois is obsessed with the robots. Lois's goddaughter is obsessed with the robots.
Oh. And the solo shows, of course, the immersive over in the other space. There's a spot for anything here, I think.
Aaron Lyons, McCadden Theater. We've had everything. We've had a few solo shows. They work, it's a 48 seat up to 60 seat theater. The balcony really adds another level to it. If you need, literally, hey, you like that? And it has stairs to get to the balcony. So it's a large enough. Well, that's just a tease.
Everybody's fine.
There's enough space. It's about 24 feet wide, about 13 deep at its shallowest. So there's isolated areas if you want something that has multiple locations, things like that. But we've had everything from one-handers, two-handers, to big musicals with the band up on the balcony. We have an audio snake that all the instruments can plug into directly into our board. Projections. We've had everything from sci-fi shows to intimate two-handers to Pinter. If the space is right for you, you will know it.
I want to jump in about projection because I keep meaning to say that. We have excellent projection in our 2 larger spaces. We run film festivals, as I mentioned. So as concerned as you may be in the quality of visual as sound, my filmmakers are so much more picky than you will ever be. So and they're very happy. So we have it can be up to 16 feet by 9 feet to take up the whole wall, to shrinking it through QLab and moving it around to whatever you need. So it's very flexible, and a 4K laser projectors DLP.
I feel like this is a worthy show of hands. How many venues have projectors in at least one of their spaces? The beauty of living in Los Angeles, y'all. Everyone is prepared for the film events as well. So,
Calvin Eastwood. I'll start with our Eastwood main stage, which again is 99 seats. The dimensions of the stage are 42 feet wide, 29 feet deep, with 15 feet of headspace. We already have 2 musicals in there. We have a live audio snake available. In the last year alone, we've had live musicians on stage, and we've had a 15-person original cast musical. But I've also produced a 2-person show in that space. And I think last year, Christopher won best 2-person show in that space. So there's a little rumor about like a large space swallowing a smaller show. And I just don't agree with that. I think if you have a vision for your show, there's so much you can do with lighting and set and just the energy of a performance that can really enliven a big show with a small cast. that space has a 22-foot projection screen, which is so far upstage that you can use most of the depth of that 29 feet without interfering in the image. So if you are using projections for a lot of your set, or if that's something you plan to do, you can really make use of most of the stage with a projector background. And our 32-seat black box, the Oxford Underground, is more bare bones. It's also it's a wide space. It's about 11 feet deep and 30 feet wide. You can have, solid pools of light there. So it is more based for comedy and intimate shows, one-person show, things where you're pretty close to the audience, but you can still create intimacy with your performance. It's really up to what you guys can create. So.
What was the original question?
If what type of work really works well in your space? Just if people need help basically making a short list of venues that they should check out.
Got it. Amber, Theater Planners, Zephyr Theater, upstairs at El Centro, Lounge on Melrose. Zephyr Theater is great for larger shows, anything with music in it too. We have brick on all four walls, so it makes the sound really nice in there. I don't have a better way to describe that other than it's like warm and fuzzy on your ears. We've had full bands, we've had musicals, and then we've also had solo shows. We run a solo festival out of there in December every year. We have a curtain that runs the width of the stage, so you can bring that back wall down if you want to. Again, it's 74 seats, but with the 3/4 thrust, our audience only goes 3 rows back, so it feels really intimate. For upstairs at El Centro, we have 47 seat. It's much more of a traditional stage. It's raised with some exposed brick, so it works really well for smaller shows. Solo comedy would be great in there with the brick, and we got a little nice spot in the center. We have a small changing room, which is why I'm saying smaller shows, but for Fringe, your actors aren't really getting dressed there, so use your imagination. As big as you'd want to go there, you can. And then Lounge on Melrose is unique. Again, it's 5 acting studios, so you're really you're not coming into a traditional theater. You're crafting your show to have a unique space, which is why I think the improv is going to be really exciting there. But in one of our spaces, we do have, a smaller comedy setup. So, if you're doing stand-up or improv, though I might probably try and direct you to upstairs at El Centro because it's just got brick. It feels like old New York. So really, any type of show can come to our spaces, as most venues will help you decide.
Hi, it's Jade, the GGC Theater. We have a really wide and long stage, so it can be customized however you want. If you need, what are those things? Wings. We can customize the wings for your entrance, your exits. We did, some improv groups. There was 20 people to 30 people on stage at a time. We've done one-handers, two-handers, one-man show, musicals. Pretty much we can customize it to whatever you're looking for. So
I have a quick question off script entirely. Do you, and this would go for any venue, do you allow for people to use maybe the patio instead of the traditional theater as for a site specific or more immersive piece?
Yeah, we can totally be open to that. When you have the space, it's all yours. There is just, I would say, the entrance that we have, it's off of Wilcox, and it's a busy street on Santa Monica. So it's kind of hard to do anything a little bit outside of our space. But for sure, if you needed the alley, yeah, you could definitely use that.
Matt, LA LGBT Center. Big casts don't work well in our space. I'm going to go ahead and say that. We can do casts of up to 8 or so, but if you have a big musical, 10 or more people, I would say that we're probably not the space for you. That being said, solo shows work great. Two-handers work great. We had a couple years ago, the name of the show escapes me. This was 70 or 80 shows ago, but we had an ensemble cast that had a cast of, I think, 8 that was up for some awards that did really well in the space. So if the space is going to work, you'll know right away if the space is going to work for your show or not. Yeah. But again, if you have a large cast, you're welcome to come look at the space, but it might not be the space for you. We're really geared towards tech-heavy shows. Our entire grid right now is LED, including, yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. So I am a tech head, so I try and keep my spaces as absolutely up to date as possible. And there was a second part of that about
I was talking. I'm sorry.
Alternate spaces. We do have alternate spaces, but I don't think we're offering them for Fringe this year. It's something we might explore in the future. If you've been to the opening ceremonies in the past, last year the opening ceremony was at the center in the courtyard. So it's a beautiful courtyard space, and I'm hoping that we can, if somebody on the way to take a tour of the theater says, "Oh my God, my show would be amazing in the courtyard," talk to me. Maybe it's something we can potentially work out. I don't want to rule it out entirely because I'm not the guy doing the actual booking. So under the bus, Zach goes. I think that's all of it.
No, that's great. And y'all, I'm so proud. We are like on schedule. I don't think that's ever happened. I know. I keep looking at it. I was like, did I just lose an hour? Did I go through a time zone I wasn't anticipating? Okay, so amazing. So really quickly, I'm just going to do one last speed round, and then y'all, we're going to move into questions. But I'm going to remind you that all of these venues, as well as multiple other venues, more still being added, are available on the website for you to both directly apply to once you have your project page up, and also directly contact. So hollywoodfringe.org/venues. All of these spaces are going to be up there with pictures, with information about ADA accessibility. There's going to be information about house size, live stream, all of the details, including a little button that says send email. And then you can get into direct contact with all of the venues here, as well as more that are on the site that just couldn't make it tonight. So really quickly, y'all, and I'm going to switch it up. You're going first, Victor. Just give us one word that describes Fringe for you.
Oh.
I know. They didn't send them this one ahead of time, y'all.
I think that's a good one.
All depends on the.
I had my chance and I blew it. I describe it as my Christmas every year because it really is. It's like being with my chosen family, for an entire Christmas.
I don't even have a word. I would just say it's creative.
Community.
Oh, that was my.
I'm rating everyone's one word.
Fringe is exciting.
It's a gateway drug.
Yeah.
It's a hyphenated one word.
Oh.
The gateway drug is working.
Social?
Yeah.
Rejuvenating.
Theater camp.
Say support.
That's great. Okay. Okay, me too. One last trick. Awesome. Y'all, thank you so much.
What's your word,
What's
Lois?
my word? Oh. They got me there. They got me. Yeah, I think community. Is that for me too? Like, I don't get to say, did somebody else say it? Okay.
Yeah, and I wouldn't
Okay.
say
You can say paperwork.
Yeah, I will say that there's no better word for it because that really what it is for me. The reason, I started volunteering for Fringe in 2010. I'm taking more words, I know, but I'm in charge. But it gives some background. So I started volunteering for Fringe the inaugural year just because I was like, well, this is a really fun, cool thing. And a friend of mine had helped out in the festival. And I started volunteering. You need furniture moved, cool. You need someone bartending, cool. And it was the first time I had found community and like mutual support and a real space that I felt like I belonged in Los Angeles. Even though I'd been here for 7-8 years, this was the first place I was like, oh, I matter. And I can, talk to other people that think the same way I do, that have the same mission and values. And so I will continue. So family actually is my word. I'm switching it up.
Oh, there you go.
And so I do always say welcome to the family because I need it. Whether you're doing Fringe, whether you're not doing Fringe, this is a safe space to take risks artistically, to support each other, find people that you will work with for years to come. Like it really is a community that goes well beyond June. So welcome. And I'm excited to see what you bring to the festival this year. And with that,
Can I say one more thing?
Okay, but we're going to do questions. So start advertising your show now. Y'all see how I'm already getting up. I'm going to bring the microphone to everyone. But start advertising your show now. If you have a question, raise your hand. Tell us your name, your pronouns, and what show you're bringing to the festival if you know the title. If not, no worries. TBD. So who has a question? Perfect. Okay. And try to remember, keep it general, y'all, because we will have a meet and greet in the next 30 minutes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jan David Sutar. My show is called O Constantine. It is a historical religious satire set in 325 AD. And it is also a musical with a cast of about 8. And my question is, because this is kind of a rowdy show, I know that the Broadwater has a bar. And I'm curious who else has like liquor available on site, or if it's BYOB or whatever have you.
Show of hands.
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Thymele has a bar area.
Yes.
And so you would be welcome to bring in your own for donation only.
Okay.
But yeah, so that would be a place though where you could, and basically the show would take place in the same room. So you could incorporate the bar area into your show at Thymele, which is kind of cool.
Yep. I'm sorry. Who else had their hands raised up as far as availability for alcohol? 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Concessions areas all by suggested donation only, except for the Broadwater that has a liquor license.
For sure.
We would all love to talk about this more when it's not being live cast online.
See us at the bar.
Thank you so much, guys.
Afterward.
Sorry.
I love it. All right, next question. Brilliant. Get my steps in today.
Hi, my name's Dee. My show's called My Tiger, and it's my show has some pretty intense racial elements. Is there any theaters that are sensitive to adult topics?
I mean, bring it on as long as it's within the code of conduct.
I don't think we know how to answer that. I think it'd be, case by case basis. You probably would have to expand on what the show's about as long as it abides by the code of conduct.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Maybe follow-up question. Are you worried about the content or are you worried about like the safety given your show's material? I think that will maybe point us in a better direction.
My show has neo-Nazis in it, and I had people walk out when I did it at a different time. So
you might want to just make sure you are not in a venue that has any outside crosses. We've had that before where we were doing a show that had swords, that had like weapons, and we had to go out a door and run around the building, and we were like, please don't let anyone think that you're running after them with swords, right? So same thing, you probably don't want to be seen in specific costumes outside, but if you're inside, we probably don't have a problem with it, but ask individual venues.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to content, because these are great questions, it's better to ask them now than when you are up during your dress rehearsal and going, oh no, this is not allowed at Fringe. Our rule is only that you cannot have hate speech in your show. You cannot give any hate toward a protected group. That is our line. That doesn't always, satire is something that's very different, right? It really depends on what your intentions are. And if there's anything you're worried about, please reach out to us, support@hollywoodfringe.org. Our goal is not to ban you, get you gone. It's to have a conversation. How can we, because more often than not, there's a line or two, or there's something that okay, it's good to know because this might get read into differently, and it helps us to make sure that there are the right flags, right? Because making sure that people have the information is also how we keep our audience safe. Making sure that they are prepared with trigger warnings, with the content warnings in place. A lot of times that is what's really important.
Yeah, I would say warn your audiences if you are concerned about it, if you've had experience with issues with it in the past. Just like if we have anyone that has, either a gun sound effect or they pull out a prop gun in it, we highly recommend that you post a box office little sign that says,
you must.
Hey,
in fact, Fringe requires
Fringe
it.
requires it. Just as a heads up so people are aware when they go into this show that that's going to happen, just like we would with a hazer or anything else.
Yes, yep. And no, because it comes down to if you treat your audience with care, if your audience feels safe in your space, they are going to come to future shows. Your goal with these trigger warnings, with giving signs, it's to make sure that your audience feels safe so that you have returning customers. They come back to your work. They trust you as an artist. So all of these things, and the Fringe is so happy to have these conversations. And especially when it comes to guns, we've had them before. I'm going to name, if I find out that in your show you pointed a gun obviously fake, but at your audience, and there was no warning, we're going to have a conversation, right? And I say things because they've happened. So if there's anything where you're like, ooh, maybe, reach out. We'll talk it out, and we'll make sure that you can go into the Fringe experience without fear about your show and how it's going to move forward. That's easily a conversation we can have. Okay. Up the steps. I should have stayed up there.
Yeah, I was just waiting till you went back down, so you'd have to run back up again. On the concept of safety. Oh, hi. Sorry, I'm Izzy. Thank you, Pay. Hey, you just do?
Yeah, I'm Peyton Ashby, and we're from, our show is Do Better. Now,
That's the name of the show. That's the name of the show. That wasn't a lecture at me. All right. It's a dramatic comedy magic show, but that has nothing to do with my question. On the concept of safety, there have been
a lot of protests outside of a lot of different types of theaters. For example, neo-Nazis protested outside of the Diary of Anne Frank a little while ago. And I was wondering, for the Fringe or for the venues, what safety precautions do you all have to protect audience members and performers and everyone from bad actors?
Well, I can say that the Hollywood district has a safety patrol that goes around. It's a non-emergency number if it's not a police escalated matter. And they are very engaged in all of the arts district things that are happening, especially during Fringe. So anything like that, numbers are posted, at least in the McCadden. I don't know if y'all have them posted as well. And they will come by and de-escalate as much as possible. I know for the McCadden, we don't have the staff to de-escalate. You know, I could do it. I'm trained in it, but I'm probably running your show. So, but I know in Hollywood there, the arts district has a very good non-police presence.
Yeah. And to name from Hollywood Fringe, and because, I mean, artists, the work, the content that you bring, it's this shit that changes the world, right? And that is not easy. That is not light. The whole point is to push the boundaries and educate and, you know, change how people think and act and feel. And so we are going to have content that, and we've had shows in the past that pushed some people's boundaries more than others. And whenever there's any of those fears for you as an artist, come to Hollywood Fringe. I know, I mean, venues, no, I have personally shown up at theaters where the artist was worried. We wanted to make sure they had additional presence. I mean, we have a team of a total of 8, but it's not going to be every show. So please have those conversations with us early, because this is another reason you do Fringe. You're in community. And I will say, I mean, it hasn't happened. We've had some scares. Because we live in a world where scary shit is happening. We've never had anything escalate to the point of harm or violence, but we certainly do have plans in place when necessary. And sometimes it means the staff showing up to make sure you feel supported on opening night, things like that.
And I will say too, like, if there is any concern like that, especially as you get closer to your show, like if there's threats or something like that, let your venue manager know immediately, because we will let the Fringe staff know. We'll work together. We had a show that had some online threats last year. No, people hadn't even seen the show. It was a comedy show. It was because he was Jewish, and he had a bunch of online threats, and they were scary enough that they were posting the address to our theater. And so Greg, who's 6'5" and has a black belt, we made sure that he was at every single performance. He walked the artist to and from his car before and after the show, to the point where after a while the artist was like, "Okay, guys, it's fine." And nothing ever happened. It was just online chatter. But we take everything very, very seriously, and so like we all made sure we were there at every single one of his performances, and I think everyone here would do the same thing.
Yeah. Melrose District also has security that patrols regularly, and we all have the phone numbers for, so they often help us out as well. So each little district will have their own. I know that when we train our front of house staff, we go through like, hey, just in case, if this happens, we hope it doesn't, and it hasn't in the past, you know, what we do X, Y, and Z, and go from there. But just to reiterate, if you feel like you're concerned about it, loop your venue in earlier rather than later, so that we can plan ahead for it. We had a show that talked all about Scientology one year, and she gave us a heads up that there will be Scientologists that will show up and will protest, and they'll try and come into the theater and buy a ticket. And so we had to be adaptable and be able to spot someone who was from Scientology department and, you know, say, "Hey, I'm sorry, I can't sell you a ticket." So just give your venues a heads up. No, Kel.
The other thing I was just going to say real quick is that you are inserting yourself into a strong community.
Yes.
So if you find yourself in the position where someone is protesting you, for example, you're going to be inside the building with a bunch of people who are already there to support you. And there's going to be more people in other theaters just around the corner who will support you even more the next day. So you really are in the right place.
Yeah. And Ellen and I are mama bears. Like, we're going to continue to talk about the community, the code of conduct and the community ethos that exists within the Fringe community. And we are so insistent upon that because it allows for these worst case scenarios to be okay, because it's not just you working alone. You are a part of a community, a family, a group of people with the same mission. And so that's all leading up to making sure you feel safe in your festival spaces.
Years ago, we had a show that right their car was broken into, and all their props for their show were stolen, and like an hour before their show, and all the other shows in the building at the time got together and pulled props together and got it to their show so they could do their performance. They weren't the exact props, right? But they all made the show happen. And so I always think of that when it's like, isn't it beautiful? I know.
The media bit is fantastic. The security, the LA LGBT Center also has our own security team because it's the shape of the world we live in. We're also a 24-hour facility, so we have to.
Yeah, and I think in general too, like the festival takes place in Hollywood. It's Hollywood at night. Like, in general, let's always think of safety, right? Like, nobody's walking to their car alone after dark, especially with a cash box. Good God, if you have a cash box, please do not walk with it on your way back to your car. It happens. But so in general, right, I think always just keep in mind how we can make sure to keep each other safe during the extreme situations and the less extreme that sometimes are the moments that catch us off guard. I'm going to take some questions from our online audience. Thank you so much for being patient, y'all. Jeanette, I'm going to get you a microphone and let you ask those questions. And I'm going to come back. I just want to make sure they've been waiting.
Hi, my name's Jeanette. I'm the marketing operations manager at Hollywood Fringe. You're just hearing my voice live stream, people. Okay, so I'm going to try to sort of combine some of these questions. One question that I have is, do any of the venues here have concrete floors? We have someone named Adam who's concerned about that because that's not going to work for their show. So maybe just a raise of hands who has concrete or who do have. It's a problem. That would be a no-go. GCC has concrete floors. It's my bad, guys. I'm dyslexic. And I'm running track.
I have two. Actors Company has 2 concrete floors, 1 wooden floor. We're on the wooden one.
Actors Company has 2 concrete floors, 1 wooden floor. Thank you. Okay, great. Let's do another one here. So we have a question from Diana and Adam as well about, I'm just going to sort of combine this, music licensing. How does that work? Do you guys, they're asking if anyone has a contract with any licensees or yeah.
It's all up to you to do. Most don't, but Fringe is going to tell you it's up to you and you should get licenses. Most don't. Don't fuck with Disney.
No.
That's my only recommendation. Excuse the cursing.
Yeah.
Don't do anything Disney if you don't have a license.
Yeah. As soon as you start publicizing your show, someone will find out I had a show at the McCadden, not part of Fringe. They were doing a one-weekend just cabaret performance, wasn't even fully staged. They put it all out on social media. We got a letter, they got a letter, cease and desist, because they didn't get the rights.
And we've gotten the same,
Get
and not
the
just
rights.
over music, over likeness.
But let me throw something out real quick. When we did Lynch, the director of music licensing of Universal called me personally.
Yeah,
and said, "Don't use this song. Don't use this song. If we find out, within a week of us opening, I have no idea."
That's also not just musicals, but any published plays.
Yes.
They get your licenses, get it now.
And understand, y'all, you are living in Los Angeles. You're producing theater in Los Angeles. It is not going to go unnoticed. The odds, and it's a beautiful thing, right? Who knows what casting director or, a famous director or whatever is going to pop into your theater, but that will bite you in the ass if you're skirting the rules. And so, there's also so many musicians that you can hire, people that can bring in their music and change your show by adding original music. So go that route whenever possible.
And rule of thumb is, I'm kind of speaking for everyone, I don't think any of us have our own license for the buildings. So it is on you as producers to get the licenses, especially for published plays. I've actually seen several applications come through already that has said, it's published, but I don't have the rights. And at least in the Stagecraft venues, if you do have a published piece, you are welcome to do it. But we also require you to show us the signed paid license. And actually, the reason for that is because we had someone forge one of those one time. And it looked so real. And then Concord Theatricals.
Giving everyone ideas.
Don't do that because Concord Theatricals comes after the venue. Yeah. So that will immediately get your show canceled.
and think about the whole getting hurt there. It's the venue, the Fringe. How do you think we can continue to operate if the Fringe is getting a bad name because artists are bringing in shows that are published without rights?
And if you've never secured rights before, most of them are calculated by the number of seats and the number of performances. So that's going to, how much your rights are going to cost will depend on a bunch of different factors.
But don't let this scare you either.
No, many of us have secured rights on things that we've produced. So if you have questions, ask any of us or ask Lois or we'll help you.
Right. And just as many as if it's not going to change the integrity of your show, sometimes it's just worth not letting that be a thing, because it's also, you're going to tour the show or you're going to go on, and why give yourself that if it's not integral to your show? But with it, we hear good stories too, right? You are in Los Angeles. And so, who knows what artist is going to be like, oh my God, hell yeah, I want to give my music to an emerging artist for their brand new show, that's supporting this topic, whatever. There are some beautiful stories that come with it too.
I was going to say, while we're on the subject of permissions, if you're working with any equity actors too, please make sure to actually fill out the proper paperwork and get permissions from equity, because they will come after the venues. And if it's something that you tell us, oh, we're not working with equity actors, and turns out we have too many seats for this kind of production, we could get in trouble. And it's honestly not that hard, and it's not that expensive to add an equity production actor to your production. So it's just like licensing. It's something you want to take care of early so it doesn't tank your show.
Remember that whole staying on the venue's good side. Don't lie to the venues.
Yeah. Well, and everyone here, right, you're not some festivals, for anyone who's familiar with the Fringe model in general, there's Fringes all over the world. And we are, one of many, many with all slightly different models. And a lot of the larger festivals are more of a fair type thing where they have venues that come in. They do a pop-up venue for a month or two or whatever long the festival is. These, you're looking at year-round businesses. And so it's not just affecting their pop-up, 1 month venue. You're affecting a year-round business that is their livelihood, how they support children and partners. And so keep that, don't be a jerk, but it all comes back to don't be a jerk. And there will be information in our participant packet, which you can still view 2024's now, but hollywoodfringe.org/participants, participants, one of those two. There's information about honestly everything. There's 60 pages of information, including about copywriting music, about equity and the rules there. And this is a great time to learn, if you don't know these things already, to start to build that producer's toolkit, right? The next time you do a show, you're going to be like, I fucking know how to deal with equity. I'm all set, ready to go. Okay. Was there any more questions from the digital set? Dance I'm doing.
There was a question about scholarships. When will you guys send out any big decisions?
Oh, I can answer that really quickly. Yeah. So we did push our deadline for scholarships. It is now February 4th. I don't have it in the top of my head, but it's no less or no more than a month. So by the end of February, all scholarship recipients will be notified. And we also notify those who were not able to get an award that year. So by the end of February, you will know yay or nay on the scholarship front. And we'll put the exact date in a future email so that I can give you more information. There was a question over here. Yes. If I can reach 528. Oh, hey.
My name's Sarah K. Godot. Our show is called Termination Fee. It's a dark comedy about the American healthcare system. And my question really is about runtimes. If we're newbies, obviously we never want to play to an empty house. We don't want to overshoot our shot. Is it possible to do a smaller run and then extend if it's going really great? Or would you recommend booking big and hoping it works?
Of course, you can always book, you mean number of shows, right? Yeah, so you can always book more shows at almost any venue if they have it available. So some venues fully book out, others don't, or we might be able to add a show. Maybe someone canceled for some godforsaken reason and we can add it in there. But it just depends on the venue, and I wouldn't be too conservative, but I also wouldn't book 8 shows.
Most of us have packages of 3 to 5 because we know that that's kind of the sweet spot. So
5 is the average.
5 is the average. But I think Amber had said earlier, you don't want 7 or 8 or 9. And now, if it is a situation where you are selling out like crazy, I mean, I as a venue manager have actually approached shows before and have said, hey, I've got a couple extra spots. Do you guys want to just extend during the Fringe? That's not very, very common, but it does happen. But we really, you only want to do that if you are selling like crazy.
But also keep in mind, you won't be in the guide for those extra shows, which makes it that much more difficult. We're going to be offering extended shows that will be playing in late August, early September, so that you can take a breath and then re-promote. For all those people who said, I can't believe I missed your show, you say, aha.
Don't worry.
We got another show coming.
Yeah, I the very first show I did at Fringe, we had 5 shows, and then almost immediately a venue picked us up and asked us. We signed a contract and we did a 6-week full run, and then we went to New York, and then 2 years later we did the show again. So like we said, it's a jumping off point for Fringe. You want to get that sweet spot, you want to leave them wanting more, and then maybe one of the venues, my venue's booked, I can't put you in July, but Broadwater will come up to you, or somebody's like, I got this open slot in September. Do you want to come back and do a 2-month run or whatever,
Yeah.
The only thing I'd say is to help you estimate like how many performances you need. Typically, your cast members will bring about 10 people per cast member, as long as they're not pulling from the same pool. You can add that into, different friends. You can add that into your estimations on top of your network and on top of, the Fringe community, so that you can kind of get a sense of how many seats could I realistically sell, and then how many shows should I book, and go from there to determine how many shows to book in.
Yeah. And also just remember too, like, you get out of Fringe what you put in. So if the people who are at every event or most of the events and talking their show up and have a really good elevator pitch and most importantly are engaged with others. So just coming up to people and talking at them about your show is not going to get people to their show. But going up to someone and saying, "What's your show about?" That's the way to start engaging. And so I've certainly seen tons of shows where like the show is good. It's not a bad show. It's lovely, but it's not earth-shattering, right? But they absolutely sell out because they're a great Fringer.
Yeah. And I think I'm gonna tell you all my threat that pans out every year, but it never fails. Every year, somebody, or usually a handful of people, send an email to support, send an email to one of our staff personally, and it's always in the last week, and they're like, you know what? Like, I didn't sell any tickets. I had an awful experience. And I'm at almost every event. The team is at almost every event. And when I've never heard their name before. I've never met them. And that it never fails. The people who do not have a good Fringe experience, who do not sell very many seats, they're the people who don't experience the Fringe. And of course, right, there's always room for rule breakers. If you have a built-in community, if you have a mailing list that goes out to, 700 audience members that we're going to show up, like, you're fucking fine. Like, then do what you got to do. But if you don't have that, you got to show up.
Get your cast to participate too. Get them to go to some of the events as well. It helps.
Make them.
And see other shows. See lots of other shows.
Because it's not just, right, you're producing your work, but you get to refill your artistic cup with cool ideas that are going to expand the next show you write. So dive in, enjoy it.
It's rejuvenating.
Yeah. There it is. Boom.
So proud. But I am going to end it here because, again, we're going to be here. Actors Company, Lorner, hosting a wonderful little meet and greet next door to the right. I'm so turned around right now.
Yeah. 2 doors down, the other space. 1 door down, go down the hallway bathroom. 2 doors down is going to be the other space. My social media marketing director and all around wonderful guy, Jared Pixler, is going to step in and bartend. If you want to talk to him, social media, he's the guy. And
so please
keep
keep asking.
refreshments, some beer, some wine, some sweets. Just come on
please
down.
keep asking your questions. I believe most of the venues are able to stay, so ask your questions. The Fringe staff will be here if you have questions about the process. Let's go enjoy each other's company because this is Fringe. Thanks, y'all.
Happy Fringe, y'all.
So what? No, I was genuinely because I didn't think I had a great time. Like, I'm now wondering, is my iPad off? Which it might be. No, it's on the right time. I already.